Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to another random installment of Netflix and Chance. Today the randomizers picked a horror comedy called Deathgasm. When two teenage boys who are part of a rock band accidentally summon a demon to our world, it's up to them to stop it. Now bear with me, this one kind of reminded me of two other movies. From a gore and humor aspect, this one kind of reminded me of Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. When it comes to the plot, it kind of reminded me of a sillier version of The Lords of Salem, which, let's be honest, that film was kind of silly anyway, and this one actually has a better song that summons demons. There are a few characters to follow in this movie, but that being said, you're going to find out that some of them are more important than others. First there's Brody, he's the main character. His mom is sent to jail, so he's sent to live with his over-religious aunt and uncle. Then there's David, his a-hole cousin who's kind of a bully. His first buddy is Dion, who's a big D&D player. Then there's Giles, who's Dion's best friend and also a big D&D player. And really there's not much else to say about those two characters because as you'll find out when watching this, they're both pretty insignificant to the whole story. Next there's Zach, who's the local metalhead, and he becomes Brody's best friend, but is he really a good friend? Lastly is Medina, who, and this is the movie quoting it, not me, she is the #1 cause for all the awkward boners in Grey Point. She does also happen to be David's girlfriend, but of course she takes a liking to Brody anyway. Next is the plot, and really your enjoyment of it does really depend on your mood. It goes like this: Brody and Zach track down a local metal legend named Ricky Daggers. He ends up giving them a record that contains sheet music called The Black Hymn. Brody, Zach, Dion, and Giles, better known as Deathgasm, end up playing the music. Yes, that's Deathgasm, in all caps, because lower cases are for p***s. Again, that's their words, not mine. Playing the Black Hymn leads to the town getting possessed and ultra-violent. Also, by playing the music, they release the demon Aloth. There's also some villains after the Black Hymn as well, but honestly, they're so insignificant to the plot that they don't really matter. Now let's talk about the violence and everything else. About halfway through this movie, it gets extremely bloody and violent, and I do have to say I gotta give it props for using real fake blood. While the violence and everything can kind of be fun for a little bit, honestly the movie as a whole is pretty ridiculous. Honestly, I will have to say that at first I found this movie kind of fun and funny, but that charm went away pretty quick. This is one of those movies that you really have to be in the right mood if you want to enjoy. Lastly, there is an after credits scene, and I would say skip it because the movie's not really worth it. That being said, this is on Netflix, so you can just kind of skip the credits and get there quickly. Deathgasm is one of those movies that you really have to be in the right mood to enjoy, and I have to admit that for me, the mood went away pretty quick. This movie is bloody, silly, and full of metal, and if you're in the right kind of mood, you might enjoy this movie. That being said, I probably wouldn't watch it again. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you've seen Deathgasm, what did you think of it? Feel free to comment out down in the section below. Until next time, I'm Gino Reynolds from The Real Gino.